Welcome to the StockMinter.com here in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your stock minter, Brian Johnson. That one's for you, Ed. Thanks for the email. All right, we're just about to wrap up the day. It's not actually quite closing time yet. Still have a little bit of seconds left to tick off the clock, but close enough. Once again, we're going to see that the bulls buy the dips. We did get that push to the upside today on a Friday, and we are still well within just the bullish framework here. Nothing's changed from a bull side. So we'll take a look at the final results here in just a second. I think the bell's going to ring right about now. And we can see after a quick update that we did just make a new high. So above that 12,250 area is one of the areas I was watching for potential moves to the upside. Within the Dow, if you want to trade the Dow long, it's been very, very strong lately. Not today. I think it was a little bit behind as it was yesterday, the other two indices, and yes, it was again today. So you can see things starting to get kind of back into parity again, where the NASDAQ leading the way after that big gap down. Wow. It's just the strength of the market, once again, just makes me giggle. It's amazing what we're seeing here. Not sure, actually, in all my years of trading, I've ever seen it quite this strong. Really. It's just a incessant grind to the upside for the bulls. They're just showing amazing strength. Call it QE2, call it whatever you want, but you gotta call it bullish. So here we do break above this area right here. Not much for profits in the way of that, but we did see some better moves on the other indices, as I stated. Overall for the week, though, very, very strong. Here on a daily, you can see we talked about this pullback. Remember, I talked about these candles being potential reversal candles, and you may hear on other blogs how, oh, here we go, this is topping candles. No, they're not. We've seen these candles in the past. They're just potential whatever candles to me. This just worked its way into a high base, a pullback if you will, either one, both bullish, and moved itself back up again yet today. So now next week starts options expiration week. I'll talk more about that this weekend, but remember, there is always added volatility during that week. Actually, I shouldn't say always. 98% of the time we see good volatility during the course of the week. That doesn't mean that we end up or down necessarily. It just means that we have sometimes a lot of volatility one day that runs us up, and the next day we run right back down again. That's very typical for an options expiration week. NASDAQ 60-minute here. There's that push up and above. I love going long the NASDAQ, the Qs, whatever. Made mention of that. Here above that 2370 was my my area to get long into the 2380-ish area. So here we go. We stopped right at 23.79 for the day. Overall, still very bullish in the markets themselves. Take a look at the weekly and look, yet again, up. So here we had these little pullbacks here. The bears looked like maybe they wanted to work on it. Maybe they wanted to drag it down a little bit. And the dailies look good, but the weeklies just looked like pullbacks. Very important to understand the bigger time frames as well as the smaller time frames. I don't care if you're a day trader, I don't care if you're an investment trader. It's important to understand all these time frames. Once again, consider the mentoring. Teaches you how to look at all frames, all time frames, put it all together, and connect those missing puzzle pieces that you may be struggling to connect with right now. That, I think, is the best analogy I have. A lot of people have a lot of really good knowledge in this market, and they just can't seem to put those last few puzzle pieces together. That's what I do. So here we go, up and above this area, still looking very bullish on the weekly, up almost 2% for the week, even after that huge move to the downside here of like 20, 25 points. Remember that? Yeah, made no difference. Moved right up, high base, moved right up again, ending close, if not right at, the high of the day. So even on the SPX, even on the NASDAQ, even on the Dow, things looking very, very strong. This was obviously not the 25-point move down. That was the NASDAQ. But you can see the move down back into the support areas here on the 60-minute charts, looking like a little pullback. Sure enough, it was, moving straight up once again. Here on the daily with the pullback moving up once again to the bull side. So here we go, breaking new highs, getting above that 1325 area, right back into the 1330 area if you are a subscriber. You would have known about these overhead targets already. I've been talking about these actually for quite a while. 1330 certainly being one of my more strong overhead resistance areas to be watching for everybody trading out there. So a lot of them were able to take profits on that. VIX daily, you can see more sideways motion right here at the 15, if you want to call it dollar mark. You can see this big spike up. This was the opportunity for the bears. They didn't care. Drove it right back down again. So here we are, once again, starting to touch these lower levels, hanging out down here in the 15 area. This is very good opportunities for you options traders. If you like to get in on options and play options, you like to buy it when the volatility is low. That is what we're seeing right now, hanging out down around that 15 area. Watch for that volatility to be a little bit more on the incessant side, I guess, for lack of a better word, next week. Volatility coming into options expiration can move that up and down all week long. Apple 60-minute, wow, was it slow and boring today. Here you can see the last 3-4 hours of the day, really not a whole lot happening. We had it rest where? Right at the 20-day, or the 20 period, I should say, moving average. Pop above it, slowly drag its way right back down again by the time the week was over. This was very volatile this week. Look at this big tail. This is valid. Something happened. You can call it whatever you want, but this has been very common, I'm noticing, within Apple. These big pullbacks in Apple don't happen slowly. They happen very quickly, very rapidly. So as to what? Maybe give opportunities for people to sell off some stuff, clear out some funds before they buy Apple at a lower rate. Seems to be the way it goes. Here we had the big move down on the Steve Jobs news. It ran right back up again. Then it ran right back down again in 3 days. This was about as consistent as we got for drops in Apple, only to see it, of course, get bullish once again. So if you want to look at it, maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, topped here at 360. The bottom of this wick could be a 4 wave, and now we're working on a 5 to the upside. That's my best count right now on Apple if you're an Elliotician. Apple Weekly, one more. Close above the blue line. So we had one here. I had the big drop down, Steve Jobs. Up here, retest, up here, retest, up here, retest, hold, and this time pop through it. And everything looks fine this week. Now that we're out and above this area, we have to look at potentially holding this area coming into next week and then further move up as we progress into and through options expiration week. I like what I saw, I like the volume, like the movement. I'll be looking at Apple long next week, no question about it. FAS also got a nice big move. If you've been following along, you got it above 33 bucks. You're welcome. Made some money on that trade as well to the upside. From a daily, it was the same entry. You're welcome. I still like this thing long too. Move up, pull back. Move up, pull back. Move up again. It's lather, rinse, repeat. So I love it above 33. I think if you're in it and you're still long, FA's yeah, I don't know if I don't like holding long over the weekends or short over the weekends, but you know what? In this case, I don't think I'd be all that concerned. Any breaks back below 33 might lend me to get me a little bit more concerned, but if you're long, good for you. Great trade. Here's FAZ then falling down. We got below 7.70. Which was my short entry. So if you went short FAZ below the 770 mark, you're welcome. It was a good trade. It was a good entry. If you've been short since way back here and just holding, you're welcome. My target still got to be this lower blue line. We've been grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding, and you know what? I just don't see why we can't grind ever so slightly more, watching this blue line for your lower target on any short you might have. If you want to get speculative, and I do mean speculative long on this stupid stock, this is the line to do it at. But once again, I will reiterate, this can be $7, it can be $6.50, it can be $5, it can be whatever. Just depends on how long it takes it to grind its way downwards. So be very cautious going long FAZ. Up above these areas are still my targets if you want to even start thinking about a long play. That would be it. Okay, that'll do it. That'll wrap it up for the week. Hope you guys enjoyed the week itself. We had some good trades, had some good opportunities. I hope you guys played along. The subscribers did really well this week. We had some stocks that really moved hard. I'll put them in Sunday's video, maybe Monday's video again. I was told by someone today that showing some of that is actually very useful. So I'm going to go ahead and do that this weekend. If you tune in on Sunday or Monday, you'll see what trades those were. I give entries, I give exits, I give stops. I kind of leave some of that up to your interpretations, but I definitely give entries and stops. Where you guys want to get out is kind of up to you, but we had some really good runners this week. So definitely money made on the subscribers newsletter this week. I'll share that with you this weekend. Have a good one. Talk to you again Sunday. Bye.